In this, there was a saying that Sri Lanka's entrepreneurs, as a percentage of the population, is only 5% compared to Japan, which has 30%. If we don't have entrepreneurs, this country will not revert back to its original status or will never ever improve its status as a country which is doing good business. So, our sole anticipation is that as a bank, we are right now looking at building the business banking segment. There are three aspects which has affected the economy. One is the East attack in 2019, which resulted in our tourism being hard hit. Then in 2020-21, we had the COVID, and then comes the economic crisis. So this is not related to only one issue. These are a whole set of issues that have come in. So the banking spectrum has definitely changed, because if you look at a bank has different segments in itself. One, there is a treasury, there is a corporate banking, then there is branch banking, and there are other segments like credit cards. So different segments have been hit in different ways. So as banks, we see that the retail and SME is the most affected by this economic crisis. So also, we have seen the difficult times are over, and these businesses who have been there during the last 3 years, who have withstood the challenges, I'm sure will do well, because they have overcome very difficult times. I don't think any country in this world have had so much of issues. Major three issues. I think as banks, we need to support these businesses, especially the SMEs who withstood this challenge. With respect to the corporate banking withstood these challenges, and treasury, of course, did well during these challenges because of certain remedial actions taken by the central bank. With regard to DDR, domestic debt restructuring is virtually over, and central bank has basically overlooked the banks in this aspect. But there is the foreign debt restructuring that's coming up that will have some impact in the banking spectrum. So haircut, which is expected as 30%, and also another first day impact with regard to these instruments that are being given by central bank. So the banks will be affected with regard to foreign debt restructuring. In fact, we had an award ceremony recently, the Western Province Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. In this, there was a saying that Sri Lanka's entrepreneurs, as a percentage of the population, is only 5% compared to Japan, which has 30%. If we don't have entrepreneurs, this country will not revert back to its original status or will never ever improve its status as a country which is doing good business. So our sole anticipation is that as a bank, we are right now looking at building the business banking segment, that is the corporate and the SMEs of this country, so that when the business segments of the banking of the country improves, the economic condition improves, and then finally the retailers also, that is people like you and me, also will improve our living standards. So what we are doing right now is focusing on the business banking segments of this country. So businesses need customized solutions, right? It will not be the same for a business that is running a tire shop and a business that is trading. So as bankers with professional skills, we need to go to their businesses and discuss their actual requirements. Otherwise, if we are in the head office and just strategizing wouldn't make a difference to entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs need to be nurtured. So what we are doing is, as a bank, we have a team that goes to these businesses, discuss their issues, discuss their requirements, and also we look at their businesses physically, what's to be done. And on top of that, I think what's necessary is we need banks which are supporting not only Western province businesses but other area businesses as well. So if you look at Pan Asia Bank, as a bank, we have 85 branches. Out of that, 47 branches are in outstations, and our outstation branches have a loan to deposit ratio above 100%. So as a bank, we are taking monies from Western province and lending to outstations. So this is one area where as a bank support the entire country, not only the Western province. I think that should be the ideal way to bring up this country and our entrepreneurs. Now, if you look at it, technology is vital, right? Payments is vital. So all this comes through embracing technology. And I think payment apps is a very important part in business, and we are onto that. Even though funding will be available, we need to give them low cost funding. So for this, we have got engaged in a lot of refinance schemes with the ADB, the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank. Especially if you look at it, as a bank, we have funded projects like papaya cultivations, then guava cultivations, then tea replantations, all these, and we support these through irrigation schemes. That is one of our major thrusts in our banking. We are into irrigation based lending to many projects in the island. Digital banking, that is where the customers are being supported by digital banking experience like the internet banking, maybe ATM banking, CDMs. So that is the customer side of digital banking. We are actually into a lot of digital banking aspects. In fact, recently, you must have seen, we achieved our 50,000th digital banking customer, that is the internet banking customer. Most of our customers have come from outstation branches. So which was a big achievement for us. But that is one aspect. And on the other side, the operational efficiency from digitization, where we have fast onboarding systems, then fast transfer systems, then the loan originating systems, where that will give a faster and efficient service to the customers. So both these have to be interconnected, and then only the customers will really see real nature of digital banking, where customers get efficiency and fast service and quality service. Any institution should make profits to sustain. But on top of that, profits is, even though it's the main aspect, there are certain ethics that we need to work on. That is where ESG comes in, right? Environmental, social, and governance. Why these are important is, if we adhere to this set of regulations that have been brought in, right, that will naturally help the bank to sustain in major projects what we are doing. If you look at environment, I will give you an example. Now, drip irrigation is conserving water. That itself, that gives a sense of relief to the planet as a whole, right? So similarly, governance. If you look at it, governance and then environment. Now, look, if we go and set up a metal crusher in fort, or say in a town, that will be a real issue for everybody. But when these set of guidelines come into our bank lending, the bank lending becomes disciplined. And finally, when it becomes disciplined, there will be sustainable growth in the economy as well as our bank. So that's how these two couples. I think people should be educated. So how we are doing that is, we have, in fact, this year alone, we have had 4 SME development programs in outstation areas. These programs not only give customers financial literacy, but we also educate them on how to do digital banking. So people have embraced these because they know they don't need to go to banks to do transactions. It's simple as that. From home, from your office, you do your transaction. So they have embraced this well. Why our outstation branches have done well is basically our outstation branches have a lot of entrepreneurs banking with us. So they have gone out and brought those business. But on top of that, we also, in our KPIs of our staff also, we say bring internet banking, because that is also, in fact, when you bring digital channels, there is a lot of savings done. If you look at ESG, you were discussing ESG. For ESG, digital banking is one of the best ways to preserve resources. We as experienced bankers, we know SME has its own inherent risks, because it depends on a single person. Capital is low, technology, they are unaware, then they have to depend on other people for funding, right? So as banks, we need to keep a portion out of that always for SMEs, maybe like a 25%, 30%, so that risk will be mitigated by lending to corporates and other low risk entities. But this particular segment will give us the major portion of profits. So we are aware of that, and as banks, prudent bankers, we need to take that risk on entrepreneurs. In fact, we are a bank which has been continuously having SME development programs. In fact, during the COVID, we had a workshop nurturing, giving education to all our SME entrepreneurs on how to handle staff-related issues during those ways. So we continuously we guide them, and also our SME officers have been groomed by a special SME unit from the government. They have been groomed to handle SME customers as well. So our team has been groomed to handle issues pertaining to SME, because SMEs have a different set of issues. As I mentioned, maybe capital, maybe knowledge, technology, then being dependent on a single party. So all those, so they have to have mentoring. Our strategies, we were having consistent strategies, but consistent strategies sometimes have to deviate. These are difficult times in the economy. So being prudent bankers, we cannot have the same strategies in place. We have decided this country has to turn around. Now, if the country has to turn around, as I initially mentioned, our business entrepreneurs have to be nurtured. Without nurturing our business entrepreneurs, this country will not turn around. So our resources for the next 3 years will be fully onto the business banking segment of our bank, that is the SME and the corporate banking. SMEs means even the micro, MSMEs and the SMEs plus the corporates, so that if we build this entrepreneurship in this country, there will be growth in the economy, and the retailers, as I said, like you and me, will also prosper if our business segment improves.